It's Toma time! What is going on, guys? Toma Tales here, which means that today I'm bringing you guys another tale of my life. And today's tale is terrific. It's me getting stuck, my car breaking down in the desert at night. Now, before I get into this terrific tale, I would just ask you guys to please leave a like on the video. Please comment your own tales where you might have gotten stuck at night in the desert as well. And subscribe for future tales of my life. But let's get right into this tale. So, I got stuck, my car broke down in the desert at night. This happened in Arizona. Now, what led up to these factors happening? This happened in the summer of 2020. I decided to move to California, and I was going to do a road trip from Florida all the way to California. Now, this road trip is 40 hours. It's about a 3-day road trip if you drive out 17 hours, a day straight. And so, I was doing the road trip with my friend who I was going to move with to California and my cat and, just a really full car. I was taking all my belongings. I had my cat in the car and I had my friend who we'll call Chris. So it was Chris, my cat, and myself. And, we were ready for a road trip from Florida to California. Now, the first day was pretty smooth. Nothing really crazy happened. I drove about 16 hours that day, and I got all the way from Florida to Texas. Now, there were some things that were along the way funny and unexpected. Such a long road trip. You're going to see things, you're going to experience things that are really funny. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the main event of the tale, which is coming soon. So we get the first night over with, just my cat. It was a cat, a Mexican, and me. My friend Chris is Mexican, so, I also made a song about it, a cat, a Mexican, and me. But no, I didn't actually make, I did kind of write it, but whatever, okay? It was a cat, a Mexican, and myself. We had gotten 16 hours driving straight to Texas, and, we just got a little motel. We, spent the night, woke up at 7 a.m. to have, a fresh start the next day. Because the next day, we had to get from Texas all the way to San Diego, where we were going to crash for one last time. Why San Diego? Because my brother lived there. We weren't going to San Diego, California. We were going to San Francisco. So from Texas to San Francisco, it was just too far. It was like 22 hours or 25 hours around there. About that 20, 22, 23 hour mark, and we just weren't going to make it. So we decided to go from Texas to San Diego, where my brother was living. And San Diego from Texas is about that, manageable 17, 18, 19-hour car ride, depending on the traffic. It's about, it's a good ways away still. And, yeah, this second day of traveling is when, the main event happened. So, per usual, we're just driving for a while. We got the cat in the back, my friend Chris next to me, and I'm the only one that's driving because I drive a stick shift. He doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. My cat doesn't know how to drive a stick shift, and so it was all on me. And this was very taxing. Imagine just driving 15, 16 hours straight a day. I don't take a lot of breaks. The only time I take breaks is for gas. I don't stop for no reason. I don't stop for drinks. I don't stop for food. I only stop for gas. And, when we get gas, we get food, and we, get drinks, and we, all that stuff. So it was all on me. And the second day, was the day where we had to get past, the more deserted states such as New Mexico and, Arizona, and just where the deserts are and where it's really just a lot of lore of the cartel or aliens in the desert, picking people up. And I'm not really into that. My friend Chris was telling me all about how he's scared of the desert at night and the border and all that stuff, with all the lores there are and, mythological things happening. But I wasn't worried about it. I was just driving like normally, seeing beautiful things. I mean, the scenery to California was insane, especially when we got to that area where it's just deserted and there's huge orange rocks everywhere and the roadways were insane. It was just a lot different from Florida. So I was just enjoying the view. But, after traveling for about 16 hours straight, we had gotten to a point where we were in Arizona. And Arizona is very, very close to, San Diego, the California border. And so we'd gotten so far, we've been driving 16 hours straight. Full baggage in the back with my cat, no space for anything, my friend next to me and myself. And now where things went wrong is we kind of made a detour from the directions, from the map. Something came up to where we had to make a stop, and then when we got back on the highway, it took us to another location. And at this point, we went from the highway to a very, lonely road. And at this point, it was about 11 o'clock at night, pitch dark, pitch black outside. And so, we're driving through this little road. Let me set the scenery, okay? So we're already on edge, especially my friend Chris, because of, the desert, the border being nearby, all of these factors, of just like things that happen in the desert, it was a tense situation already. Not for myself, I'm always feel safe in my car, but, I could feel the tension, and especially when we got on this deserted, very just small, one lane here, one lane this way, in Arizona. And I just remember us driving through and being like, damn, like, we really just entered this deserted road. There's like a car maybe every 5-10 minutes. And, if you look to the right, it's just pure desert for miles. You can't see anything but deserts. There's a tiny broken down fence to separate the little road from the desert. And on the left-hand side, if you look, it's just broken down shacks, broken down, like, abandoned businesses and stuff, just what you expect to see in the desert in Arizona. And as we're driving down this, dark, empty road, I'm just driving, and all of a sudden, I just hear my tire, like, making a weird noise, like, brum, 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 brum. And at first, I am personally very experienced with broken tires. I have very, very bad luck. I've had 3 tires been popped or ripped or whatever before this specific instance, so I know what it sounds like. And as I heard it, I just looked at my friend, and I was waiting for him to react, but he didn't. I could just tell he was like just wanted to, avoid the situation that we both thought was at hand. And, he just kind of go, just keep driving, just keep driving. Like, I could tell he was getting very nervous, and I was like, I'm going to keep driving, but this is not sounding good right now. And as you can, tell, after driving for about another 20 seconds, the vroom, vroom, vroom goes from boom, 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 and the tire just gives out. I can't drive anymore at this point. I just hear my tires flopping all around, and I was forced to pull over into the sand. And at this point, I'm like, damn, man, I have a flat tire. And what's worse than having a flat tire is having a flat tire with no, repair tire, no tire in the back to replace your broken tire. I did not have a spare tire, guys. I went on a road trip 3 days without a spare tire. Who am I? I don't know. I'm Toma motivated, so I'm Toma Tales. Shit happens, right? So, yeah. At this point, we're beginning to freak out because we're in this deserted-ass area. My friend was already telling me about all these shit that happens in the desert, and, yeah, we're stuck here. Now, as always, when we got stuck, there was a police officer behind us when we got stuck, but he just decided to keep driving. 5 minutes later, another car came, decided to keep driving. At this point, I began to try and call XXX, which is a tire. They help you when you're a broken down car. They help you with a broken down car. They'll, like, tow you somewhere. They'll take care of you. And as I'm calling them, I'm hearing that they have no idea where we are. I'm trying to tell them our exact coordinates. They say we are too far out in the middle of nowhere. They cannot get us anywhere. The only thing we can do is wait until the morning for someone to come in the morning. At this point, my friend and I, we are defeated. We are destroyed. Imagine driving 16, 17 hours straight. We're only like 4 hours, 3 hours away from San Diego from a good night's sleep at home with my brother. And instead, the tire popped, and it's a cat, my friend and I, just stuck in the car. And what was also very creepy is when I checked the tire, it was my front left tire, and there was barbed wire all over it. Just completely destroyed my tire. And at this point, with XXX not helping us, what do? We have this barbed wire on our tire. We're thinking, man, this is like some Texas Chainsaw shit. Like, maybe someone planted that for us to freaking, trap us out here and kill us. And so after calling Triple H, we called the police because we were desperate. We had no idea what to do. So we called the police, and they say, we can't help you guys. We don't know where you are. You're too far out. There's no officers nearby. Just try and wait until the morning for Triple H to come. So at this point, we're absolutely destroyed. We're absolutely done. I have a cat in the back, full car, my friend and I, with nowhere to go. What am I going to do? Am I just going to, sleep here? Like, am I going to let the cat poop and pee all over the car? What am I going to do? Like, that's just like, we were just like really like freaking out. What are we going to do? We don't have a lot of gas either. That was a big concern as well. We didn't have a lot of gas. It was hot as hell outside in Arizona in the summer, obviously. And we were stranded. So at this point, we're really just beginning to really doubt ourselves and not know what to do. Until a car drives by. Now, it was a Jeep. Now, a car drives by, and unlike all the other cars, it actually, takes like a drastic stop and pulls up in front of us next to the desert and, on the sand, on the line between the desert and the road. And we're like, oh shit, maybe they can help us. So I get out of my car, and I begin to walk towards the Jeep, and this lady comes out. Now, this lady I can just describe as a little heavier set, country kind of lady, like deep in Arizona, like, probably owns like whatever, I don't know, but she's smoking a cigarette. She's heavier set, looking a little shaggy, not like a princess where you feel safe, more like, you don't know what to expect. Like, is she a good Samaritan? Is she someone who put the trap here to kill us and came over 15 minutes later after a tire popped? How convenient. And, I'm just a lot of thoughts going in my head, but we greet each other. I tell her, I'm like, hey, like, our tire, it's broken, some barbed wire got into it, and, we can't drive, we're stuck here. And what she says immediately made me very, very weary, because she's like, oh, that's no problem at all. Like, my husband has a tire shop 5 minutes down the road, literally a mile. Let me go get him real quick, and we'll take care of it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in this situation, I'm like, there's no way that this is what's happening right now. That we get barbed wire on our car, we're stuck in the middle of nowhere, and this miracle lady just pulls up, on the way somewhere. I don't know where she was going, but she pulls up in front of us and says that her car has a tire shop right behind us to help us. And so she, I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah, that'd be great, yeah, like, yeah. So, she ends up driving back away. She ends up driving back to the other way where she came from to, I guess, get the tire from her husband who owns a tire shop. At this point, I'm super, super, worried, confused, and anxious. I go back to my friend and my cat who was sitting in the car. I tell both of them what's happening. I'm like, this lady just said that her husband owns a tire shop a mile back in the middle of nowhere where I haven't seen a single shop open, a single even functioning-looking business, with the desert all around us. And just conveniently, there's a guy that owns a tire shop right behind us. So at this point, my friend agrees with me that this too much of a coincidence. There's like, are you serious? Like, is there even a way that this is happening? So we both go through a plan in our heads. Like, if this guy comes back with a gun, or if he comes back trying to hurt us, we need to attack right away. We need to make a game plan. We need to fight or run, depending on the situation. And we were just planning it up because it just didn't seem feasible that this happens. That someone has barbed wire laying on the road in the middle of Arizona, and then this lady pulls up and is going to get her husband who owns a magical tire shop. So 10 minutes goes by and we're still just sitting there stranded. And anxiety, stress, everything is just building up by the moment, by the second, And, we just keep waiting. We keep waiting. And 10 minutes, 15 minutes goes by, and we're just, like, waiting for this weird trucker or, like, weird, like, Arizona freaking Texas chainsaw kind of guy to come up and shoot us or murder us or something. But eventually we see a man pull up with the same Jeep. And we're like, oh, this is a dude. It's a dude this time. The wife is not here. Like, the hell? And so he pulls up in front of us. And at this point, we're sitting in the car, like, all nervous, anxious. We don't really want to get out of the car in case we need to make a last-minute run for it. Like, just zoom off with the broken tire. We were going through that in our head, just trying to run him over or something. So we stay in the car, and I'm, like, anxiously looking. I'm trying to see if he has any weapons, anything. But out comes this bald dude who's like mid-40s, and I'm not sure what to make of him. He's bald, about 40 years old, just normal, kind of looking dude. And he comes out, he's like, hey guys, like, my wife told me what's happened. I was eating dinner, but she told me you guys needed a tire. And so, we tell him what happened. He seems normal. He seems nice. And, at the back of my mind, I'm waiting. I'm still anticipating, something can go wrong any second. But we tell him what happened. We tell him, barbed wire got all over our tire and we're stuck here. We only have 4 more hours in San Diego. So, like, we tell him what happened. We give him, the details. And he's like, okay, well, like, what size is your tire? What do you guys need? I have a tire shop, like, 5 minutes right behind us. And, like, we have, like, a size 32. And, like, it'd be awesome if, like, you could help us out. And he's like, yeah, like, no problem at all. I'll get you guys a tire, and I'll be right back. So he ends up leaving with his Jeep and going back to the shop. And I'm like, oh, my God, we have to go through this anxiety again. Is this guy going to bring backup? Did he just come to check out, the situation, make sure we're unarmed, and then he'll come back and really do something. So, we're going through it in our heads again, and we're just waiting for him to come back, waiting to see what happens. And long story short, this dude comes back with, like, a bunch of gear in his Jeep, like a tire jack, everything the tire we needed, the size. And he just begins to put a tire on my car. He takes my tire off that was broken. He puts the new one on that he gave us. And he literally just, like, saves our life. And, we didn't know what to say. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe the odds that at, like, 11 o'clock at night in the middle of nowhere in Arizona, this angel finds us with a broken tire where we would have stayed all night there with a cat and 2 people where it was dangerous. And he found us that night. His wife found us, and his wife blessed us with the husband. And, he actually owned a tire shop 5 minutes down the road. And I don't know what the odds are on that, but I'm thinking it's very, very rare. And we were so blessed that this dude, saved our life that night, because who knows what would have happened. Who knows. So, shout out to you. I always said if I become rich, you're gonna be one of the first people I help out, because I still know who you are. And I always check on your page, your Facebook, to make sure, I still keep contact with knowing who you are. And, this dude saved our life that night in the middle of Arizona in the desert. So, yeah, if you guys appreciate this tale of my life, this crazy, crazy story where we could have easily been set up, murdered, shot, killed, and prostituted out in Arizona somewhere for some people, I don't know what could have happened to us. But instead, this guy brought us a tire, and we made it to San Diego safe. I hope you enjoyed this terrific tale. Toma Tales is out. Have a good night, guys. Have a good day. Have a good morning.